were there because of the burnout and like everything that you're doing. I just really appreciate it. So thank you. There's just so many good teachers that I've left, and I really appreciate everything you're doing.
Well, hopefully we'll get you back in the classroom.
Thank you.
Hi, hello, how are you? It's nice meeting you too. I think it's my turn. Thank you. Of course.
Oh, let me put it. Sorry, I hit your back. Thank you. I'm the one messaged you on Facebook. I don't know if it was you or your team member.
Me.
It was you?
I respond to everything.
So, why I want to tell you why you mean so much to me and why I voted for you. 10 years ago, I left California because I was involved in domestic violence. I came to Jacksonville, Florida to get shelter. Moved in with my sister, who was a prescription drug addict in Jacksonville. I was told in the shelter that there was basically no hope for me because I couldn't take care of the ones that were already here. So for 10 years, with a red state, I've been without hope. You're the first time I've ever had hope in 10 years. We got you. We got you. Okay? We got you. We got you. You brought hope to me.
Gotcha.
Anything you need, tell Kramer. Let her know. Just reach out to Laura. Anything you need.
Thank you.
Okay.
We got you.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you. I just want to tell you that my fiance and I are voting for you because with anybody else, we're not going to have hope. And him and I are so happy that you're here. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Of course.
Thank you.
I am journalist.
Thank you.
I want to interview you. It's possible?
Yeah, absolutely. Come on up here.
We're still here.
Okay, thank you.
I'll give this to you. My name is Fallon. I'm a holistic practitioner and an esthetician. I have my own spa, but I'm doing a lot more than just that.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you on the road with me.
I actually do that quite often.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Of course. Of course.
The three of us.
Hello.
It's an honor.
Oh, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, thanks for being here. Hello. Hello.
Everybody hear me?
Thank you.
Thank you for everything.
Testing.
I'm going to be calling Kramer so we
Everybody hear me in
can
the
set
back?
up
Thank you.
a meeting
Okay.
once you win the primary.
All right, this is an amazing
Thank you.
turnout. My name is Kamara Williams. I am part of the host of this amazing event. We're going to get to the Woman of the Hour, but right now we want to do some introductions. And so, that's even better. Okay. Perfect. Now I feel like a real person, like a real political person. All right, amazing. Everybody can hear me now. Yeah. All right, so incredible turnout. We're going to get to the woman of the hour, but right now we're going to do some introductions. Right now, the first person we want to bring up is William Diaz.
Bingo.
Yes, Diaz, you say some words. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nikki. We're going to win! Hi, Evelyn. Okay, well, I'm William Diaz. I'm the founder of Casa de Venezuela in Orlando 19 years ago. And I'm so proud to endorse Nikki Fried for this race. And we not only going to win next week, but we going to win this state because we need a woman. We have a governor that has no punch. All what he knows is go against the women, goes against the LGBT people, go against immigrants and all that. That's all what he knows what to do. We need somebody that can put order in Tallahassee. And there is no other right now than Nikki Fried. I just want every one of my Hispanic community, all Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cuban, Venezuelans, everybody comes on board and support Nikki Fried. Thank you very much and happy for everybody here today.
Thank you.
Welcome. Marcos Vilar.
All right. The next person we're going to bring up is Marcos Velad. Yes. Thank you, Laura. Good afternoon. Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
I am also endorsing today Nikki Fried, the first woman governor of Florida to be, and a fighter. And a fighter. The reason that we need Nikki is because she is the only candidate running right now that can fight against this horrible thing that's happening to our country, these people that are trying to take away, steal our democracy. And we need a strong woman like Nikki Fried, who's going to take it to them like they've been doing for the last 4 years as Secretary of Agriculture and continuing doing that job from the highest of the offices that we have in Florida. I first met Nikki in 2019. She's been a year in her post, and we brought families from Panama City, Puerto Rican families from Panama City who had been displaced to Panama City after the Hurricane Maria in 2017. They went to Tampa, ended up in Panama City, and then got hit by Hurricane Michael. And she opened her office to all those families who went there and talked to her about being displaced twice, once in Puerto Rico and then in Panama City. And because of her listening to these families and spreading the word in Tallahassee, that same day, the allocations for housing in Panama City went from $49 million to $111 million. That's what having Nikki Fried in office meant to people who've been forgotten. They were forgotten in Puerto Rico and they were forgotten in Panama City. So it is for me an incredible privilege to be supporting Nikki Fried tonight and tomorrow and the rest of this route until Tuesday. And we're gonna win. We're gonna win, right? Vamos a ganar, ¿verdad? Yeah. We're gonna win. And then we're gonna win, like William said, in November. And that's gonna be a shellacking, all right? Because that gentleman that's up there, if we can call him that, has no business in that seat. So with that, thank you very much. And I'm gonna call a dear friend, Evelyn, who's gonna introduce a very important person in our community, an important leader. Evelyn, please come up. Thank you very much.
How are we doing tonight? Are we gonna win? Yeah! And are we gonna win big? Yes! So one thing we say in our community is that even we're 4 points up, we're gonna work like we're 20 points down to the last day. And we need all of you to support us, to support Nikki. It is a great honor for us to have leaders like William Diaz, who has left Venezuela, who left a place who has no democracy, and he wants someone who protects democracy here in Florida, and that's Nikki. Leaders like Marcos Vilar, who have been working for years with all communities, not just Latinos, but all communities and representing them. For us, it's a great honor, Marcos, for you to support us. But for me, it's also very, very special to have a woman who was a New York police officer, survivor of 9/11. She also was focused, and she was one of the first responders in Parkland, first responders in Pulse, has been a leader in the LGBTQ community, a pastor, and she has been with us, supporting us since day one. And we want to thank you, Nancy Rosado, and we would love for you to get some words. So thank you so much. Querido Nancy. And here I was thinking I was just going to take pictures. How's everybody feeling tonight? Are we going to win? Yes. Are we ready for change? Yes. Well, look to your right and look to your left. This is what change looks like. And standing to my right, oh, thank you. I've been rescued from my camera. Standing to my right is what change looks like. It's what's going to change it for all of us. They say insanity, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So this time we're voting different. This time we're not going to settle for the same old stuff. We're not, well, some of us who are older, and this same gentleman that's kind of running against us, who's my age, I know when to sit down. Apparently the other one doesn't. It's time for Nikki. It's time for us. Let's move forward and do this. Yes? Yes! That's my family. God bless you all. Thank you. Something new. Thank you. Something new. All right. Come on. Nikki.
All right.
What an intro.
It's going to be hard following those amazing speeches. First of all, I want to give thanks for everybody to coming out, and with the weather and everything like that, that shows your dedication. We want to actually give a shout out to the host of this amazing facility, half of the host. Where's Andre, number one? Andre. Okay. Andre Young. And I call her Coach, but her name is Conti Moore. She's the other owner of this building. So I wanted to have her come up and just kind of tell about this amazing space. Yes.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming out, and thank you for showing your dedication to Nikki. We need you, Nikki. We're excited about you, and you are. And it's exciting to see someone that is our age and someone who's really like has our values, truly values, have the same values as us, go and do this. I know it's not easy. I know that it's difficult, but we are excited and we're thankful for all that you're doing. Yes. Welcome to iWorkspaces. We are excited to have everyone here. It's a new way for people to have a virtual office without actually having the overhead of an office. So if you know of anyone looking for some good space, please check us out. We're a new business, and we are excited to be here and support Nikki Freed.
All right. Thank you so much, Santi. Oh, that's much louder. It's much more prominent. All right, so let's get started. So, you know, the other day, a friend of mine sent me a tweet of this skydiver, Luke Aiken, jumping out of a plane at 25,000 feet, unassisted with no parachute. Right? You got the visual? So he's surrounded by these other skydivers, and I don't know what they're going to do because he really has no parachute, but whatever. So he's surrounded by these skydivers, and he's descending, and it's like a 3-minute plunge. And then it comes up on the little video, and it says he's going to attempt to land on a net, right? So now I'm all in, right? Because I'm like, I just got to see how this. I hope I'm not going to see anybody die on my Twitter, right? That's what you're hoping. But it's like he's descending, and he hits this net right in the center, right? Now I'm bought in. I'm like, who is this guy? So I do go down the rabbit hole. And I start to pull some videos, and it talks about his construction or like the lead up to that event. And he says, one of the interviewer asked him, were you nervous? Were you scared? And he said, you know, No, I mean, I've been doing this for years, but I was confident in the work that had been done in preparation. You know, you have to factor in wind velocity. You know, you have to factor in the plane. Anything that, you know, the mechanics, if he would have hit the net at a certain spot, it could have been fatal. You know, so he had to be dead on with that. And so, but he was confident in the calculations. And that's when it kind of hit me, you know, at night. I was like, this is exactly what it's like to support a candidate who the Democratic establishment has tried to minimize their voice. You're jumping out of a plane, and sometimes it can feel like you're doing it without a parachute. But the interesting thing is, our net may not be a physical net, but the net will be August 23rd. And the foundations holding up that net are the people. And so if there's a wonder about whether or not if Nikki can do it, or, you know, we're nervous about Tuesday, don't worry about it. The work has already been done. The calculations have been made, right? The foundations have been planted, right? And she's going to hit that mark. She's going to land it. Inside there's an Orlando Sentinel reporter, and he asked somebody who was interviewing, how are you going to beat DeSantis? Because he's raised so much money, and he's so prominent nationally. And I thought to myself, that's a really fascinating question. And I want everybody to look around this crowd, and you're going to see something that is not factored in. It's a coalition. It's a coalition of people that are going to beat DeSantis. It's not going to be just white voters. It's not going to be just black Floridians. It's not going to be just gay Floridians, straight Floridians, men, women. It's going to be everybody. Everybody's going to buy in, and the person to do that is standing to my immediate right. The person that brought everybody together, because it wasn't me, it wasn't Conti, it was Commissioner Freed. And if I could just add this one last part, I'm sorry, I know I'm going on. She's the woman of the hour, but one thing that really bothers me is that when you hear people and you talk to them about this campaign, and you hear them say, well, this just reminds me of Nan Rich, or Gwen Graham, or Alex Sink. And I don't think they realize what they're saying, right? Because it's always fascinating when you compare a minority or a woman to another woman who have no relation to that campaign. But men, especially white men, especially men who are currently running in office, for whatever reason, their record is never, not only they're not compared to other men, but they're not even compared to their own record. You never hear anybody say, well, you know, this person can't win because so-and-so lost in 2008. You never hear that, right? You hear, oh, this person can't win because someone from their demographic lost 10 years ago. So that means they're not going to win. And that is a problem. And that shows that we need something new in this state. That shows we need something new in this entire country.
That's right.
That's right. Yep.
And Nikki is that voice.
That's right.
So without further ado, let me introduce you. It is my pleasure to introduce the next governor of Florida,
Yes, sir.
Nikki Freed.
So first of all, I have skydived, but I have always making sure that I have not just my nets, but I have what's going to keep me from falling onto the ground. But I can't thank you all enough for being here tonight. We've got less than 1 week. We've got less than 1 week to bring all the people of our state together. Because Kamara's right. This election isn't about me. This election is about you all. And the faces that I see in this crowd are faces that have not had necessarily a voice, not a seat at the table, that have been marginalized, have been forgotten, have not had that voice. And that's what this campaign has been about. the first week of our running for office, we went to the Alianza offices and kicked off our Nikki Escucha tour, our Nikki Listens tour. And we spent the entire year traveling all over the state, talking to our Muslim community, talking to our Puerto Rican community, our Venezuelan community, our Colombian community, our gay community, our senior community, our females, and everybody in between. And we asked one simple question: what is on your mind? What are the issues that are keeping you up at night? What are the issues that you're talking to your family members about, and your families and your friends? And when we came back, it was the same consistent drumbeat. Florida has become unaffordable. No one's listening to us. From our black community, we're hearing that white politicians continue to come back to us and talk about two issues: gun violence and criminal justice reform. And I said, that's got to stop. We got to make sure we're talking about economic opportunities. We got to make sure that we're creating a state that is looking at everybody, that everybody's got that opportunity. And so when I know that when we win in August 23rd and we take our fight in November, that we are going to make Ron DeSantis a one-term governor and a zero-term president of the United States. And you know, talking about the money, I've said in the St. Public Reporter, I don't need the money, I've got the people. Because the people are going to be with us every single day. And so every single day, people say, what gives you the motivation to get up? Because it is hard out here. It is hard out here in a very polarized political system. It is hard being out here, being a female candidate. You know, I think yesterday there was conversations about a wet t-shirt contest. That is what we see out here. But you know what gives me hope? What gives me inspiration? Her. She gives me hope and inspiration. Because let me tell you how many little girls and little boys I have met on this campaign trail. And you, and you, and you. And because we have messed this up, so we've got to do better for them. And so every day I wake up and I say, how can I make sure that we are providing a state that they don't have to go into a war zone inside of their classrooms, that they don't have to be doing active shooting drills, that we don't have 9,500 teacher shortages, that we don't have a jail and prison system that is failing the people that are living there, that we don't have a system that doesn't have air conditioning. It is hot. We're sweating right now. Can you imagine living in a prison and not having air? But this is what's happening in our state. And this is what's happening in our country. And I've said this 1,000,001 times. My mom is a die-hard Democrat. She was a teacher for 25 years. And most of my teachers. My dad, he's a die-hard Republican. We pray a lot for him. It's all right. But what they taught me collectively is, in the Jewish faith, we call it tikkun olam, to heal the world. So every single day for my entire life, I have woken up and said, how can I do better? That's why I shunned private practice to become a public defender. It's why I fought for our homeowners during the foreclosure crisis. It's why I fought for our foster care kids. And that's why I've been so hard on Charlie during this primary. Because I know what's on the line. And if we don't win in November, I know who loses. They lose. So we can't lose. We've got to get up every day and fight for them. And I know that we are going to beat DeSantis in November, but we do have a primary to first get through. And let me tell you, defending judges who have taken away black congressional districts, who have gone and overturning Roe v. Wade, and somebody who's taken money from the NRA is not healing the world. And so I know that the coalition that we have built across our state, the platform that we have built across the state, is your platform. And we're seeing that momentum everywhere we go. No matter where we go, we were in Panama City 3 days ago. I was in Lake City 2 weeks ago. We are crisscrossing the state and bringing that hope and that inspiration to everybody. And everybody keeps asking me this question: Who is best to beat Ron DeSantis?
Nikki Free.
And let me tell you that why that is the case. I think it was a Washington Post reporter that said earlier this week that you've got somebody in your primary. And so where's my baseball players? Anybody play baseball?
Long time ago.
Some of you. That the person in my primary is kind of like a slow pitch over the base. But I'm the curveball. And that's how we're going to win. Because Ron DeSantis has been canceling cabinet meetings all year. Well, guess when there's a cabinet meeting? On election day. Why do we think that is? Because he's scared of us. He's scared of the coalition that we are building. And so after we win on Tuesday, how we're going to beat him in November. One, we have the people. But there's two issues. One is freedom. This Harvard and Yale educated guy doesn't understand what freedom means. Doesn't understand that when you take away a woman's right to choose, that is not freedom. When you take away people's rights to vote, that is not freedom. When you take away people's rights to protest, that is not freedom. When you take away our teachers' rights to teach history, that is not freedom. And when you suspend a prosecutor, that is not freedom. So we're going to teach them what freedom actually means. The second reason why we're going to win is because of the unaffordability crisis that's happening in our state. While he has spent the last 3 years dividing us, teaching us about hatred, and spewing lies every single day, going after our black community, going after our immigrant community, going after our gay community, anybody who doesn't look like him, sound like him, talk like him, he has silenced. That is how we're going to win, because we're going to give people hope. We're going to have a plan of how to make sure that we're lowering your cost of living while also raising your standards. And we are going to try something new. We are going to try something new for that teacher who just wants to teach. Something new for that black entrepreneur who is fighting in a rigged system. Something new for every little girl who has fought against tyranny. Something new for that single mom who just wants to be able to pay for her rent. That is what we are going to do. And that is the type of inspiration that this campaign is building all over the state. I am seeing it. I am feeling it. And you know how we're also going to win? Women. Women are going to do this. Because I know that you all saw that University of North Florida, and as a Gator, I hate to say this, but UNF is right on this one. That UNF is showing us up 4 points. We have been feeling it on the ground for months. But to see it in the paper, to see it coming out in the numbers, is just validating what we feel. Because I bet none of you have been polled. But the feeling and energy that we see here and are seeing across our state is how we're going to win. And we are 20 points ahead of both Charlie and Ron when it comes to the female population. So women are going to turn out, women are going to vote, and all of our allies are going to stand side by side with us. So I want to try something. Every woman in this crowd, raise your hand. Every male that supports these women, raise your hands. This is what democracy looks like. This is what a united front looks like. And this is how we are going to make history by electing the first female governor of the state of Florida. Thank you. Thank you, Central Florida. Thank you. 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 Thank you.